What if the rage we saw from Christine wasn't sudden at all? What if it had been building for decades, layered betrayal after betrayal, and if it finally broke her free? And what if the most heartbreaking casualty of Kody's neglect wasn't Christine herself, but their daughter Truly? In her book, Christine shares confessions that go beyond TV editing. Stories of fury, of heartbreak, and of watching her daughter grow up without a father's love. And tonight we're pulling back every layer. Because by the end of the story, you'll see why Christine's fury wasn't just anger, it was survival. And why Truly's heartbreak shook fans across America. To understand Christine's fury, we must return to the beginning, when she believed in a dream that slowly turned into a nightmare.
Nothing's the same.
Part 1. What if the story we thought we knew was only the surface? What if Kody Brown's fury at Kody wasn't just about jealousy, but about years of betrayal, emotional warfare, and hidden truths finally revealed in her own words? Stay with me, because in this episode, we're not just talking about Christine's anger. We're uncovering what fueled it, chapter by chapter, confession by confession. Christine's memoir opens a door into her private world, a world where loyalty clashed with neglect, faith wrestled with doubt, and love turned into resentment. And by the end, you'll see why Christine's anger wasn't just reaction, it was revolution. In the beginning, Christine believed in the dream, plural marriage, eternal bonds, and a shared family destiny. But even then, there were cracks. She writes of moments where Kody dismissed her, ignored her contributions, and left her feeling invisible. But the fury? It simmered beneath the surface, waiting. What Christine reveals is shocking moments where she begged for partnership and got silence instead. As years passed, Robin's arrival deepened the divide. Christine describes the heartbreak of watching her husband's devotion shift entirely. She wasn't just angry at Kody. She was furious at herself for staying so long. Christine's fury wasn't loud. It was steady. Every family decision became a reminder of how little her voice mattered. And then the book reveals the breaking point. A private argument, so intense it still echoes today. In that moment, Christine realized Kody wasn't just neglecting her, he was erasing her. The climax of Christine's story isn't about leaving, it's about reclaiming. The fury that Kody mocked became the fire that freed her. But here's the twist Christine admits in her book. Her anger wasn't hate. It was love that had been betrayed too many times. The fan reaction? Explosive. Women across America, especially those aged 30 to 80, saw their own struggles in Christine's words. They rallied. They posted. They turned her story into a movement. Christine didn't just leave Kody. She became a symbol for every woman who felt silenced. And the backlash? Oh, it wasn't just against Kody. It was against the entire illusion of the perfect sister-wives family. In the end, Christine's fury became her freedom. Her book isn't just a memoir, as a manifesto. And maybe that's why Kody still seems shaken today. Because Christine didn't just walk away. She told the world why. So, was Christine always furious with Kody? Yes. But not without reason. Her fury was the voice of every ignored promise, every broken trust, every woman who's ever said enough. Drop a comment with your thoughts. Do you side with Christine? Or do you think Kody has his own truth untold? And don't forget to like this video, because the more you share, the more we uncover together. Part 2. What if the saddest story in Sister Wives wasn't Christine leaving Kody, but how he ignored one of his youngest daughters, truly? In Christine's own words, the truth is more heartbreaking than fans ever imagined. Because once you hear what Christine reveals, you may never look at Kody Brown the same way again. In her memoir, Christine describes a reality where one child's needs were quietly pushed aside. This isn't just drama, it's about a daughter growing up without the fatherly love she deserved. And the most devastating detail? It didn't happen overnight. It happened step by step, year after year. Christine writes that the early years with Truly were filled with joy, but also with loneliness. Kody was often absent, distracted, or entirely focused on Robin's children. One chilling story Christine shares, a moment when Truly needed her father, and he simply wasn't there. For Christine, the anger wasn't just about her marriage anymore. It was about watching her daughter's heart break in silence. And here's where the story deepens, because Christine admits she begged Kody to show up. She pleaded. And still, he ignored the signs. As the seasons of Sister Wives rolled on, fans noticed it too. Truly seemed distant from Kody, almost like a visitor instead of his child. Christine's book confirms this wasn't editing. This was reality. One of the most painful details Christine shares is about Truly's health scare and emergency that could have been life-threatening. And yet, even then, Kody wasn't fully present. Christine's words will shock you, because in that moment of crisis, she realized she was raising Truly alone. The emotional conflict grew sharper. Christine wanted her daughter to know a father's love, but all she could give was her own unwavering devotion. And fans today ask, was Truly ignored, or was she abandoned? The climax of Christine's memoir doesn't just expose. Kody's neglect. It reveals the strength of a mother who refused to let her child feel unloved. But here's the twist. Christine confesses she carried guilt, blaming herself for not leaving sooner, for not protecting Truly from the ache of rejection. This raw honesty turned the book from a story about marriage into a story about motherhood, survival, and healing. The backlash was swift. Fans unleashed outrage across social media. Some said Kody had failed not just Christine, but his duty as a father. Others shared their own stories, women across America who saw their children ignored by fathers who chose favorites. Christine's story became more than reality TV. It became a mirror of real-life struggles that women aged 30 to 80 know too well. And that's why fans didn't just sympathize, they rallied behind Christine, turning her heartbreak into a movement of support. In the end, Christine's book reveals a truth no TLC edit could ever capture, that Truly's story isn't just about neglect. It's about resilience. And it's about a mother's determination to make sure her daughter knows her worth. So now we have to ask, did Kody truly ignore Truly? Or was he blinded by choices that left her behind? Christine's words leave no doubt. And fans are not forgiving. If you believe Truly deserved better, hit that like button right now. Leave a comment. What do you think Kody should say to Truly today? Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. Christine writes about the early years, overlooked contributions, moments when her voice was ignored, and the pain of watching Kody dismiss her concerns. One chapter describes her sitting at the dinner table, speaking, while Kody's attention was fixed entirely on Robin. That wasn't editing. That was real life. Her fury grew, an explosive, but steady. A fire she carried silently, until one argument shattered the silence forever. Christine describes it as the moment she realized, I was not a partner. I was a placeholder. But Christine's book doesn't just expose her marriage, it reveals the heartbreak of motherhood. Because while Kody's love narrowed toward Robin's children, Truly was left waiting. One story still haunts fans, the hospital scare. Christine rushed Truly for urgent care, and Kody? He was barely involved. Christine admits that moment broke her. She realized she wasn't just raising children in a plural family. She was raising Truly alone. Christine's fury was fueled by two forces, years of being silenced as a wife and years of watching her daughter ignored. In her own words, I stayed too long and Truly paid the price. And that confession flips the narrative from Christine being angry to being deeply protective. The show hinted at it. The book confirms it. Christine's fury wasn't drama, it was justice. Picture this, a teenage Christine, newly in love, believing in eternity. Fast forward, a mother in her 40s, begging her husband to notice their child's pain. Every ignored glance, every broken promise, stacked like bricks in a wall of rage. And that wall finally came crashing down in 2021. The climax of Christine's memoir is not leaving Kody. It's realizing her fury had power. That the very emotion mocked by Kody became her strength. But here's the twist. Christine admits her fury wasn't hatred. It was love. Love betrayed too many times. And Truly's heartbreak? It wasn't the end of her story, it was the spark that pushed Christine to finally say, enough. The backlash online was immediate. Fans filled Reddit threads, Facebook groups, and YouTube comments. They weren't just outraged, they were heartbroken for Truly. Some even called Christine the most relatable sister-wife, not for leaving a man, but for protecting a daughter. The analysis is clear. Christine's book transformed her from the angry wife into a cultural symbol for women fighting for their children and themselves. Long before the cameras, Christine carried the weight of motherhood almost entirely on her shoulders. 6 children, endless nights, and a husband whose attention was often somewhere else. She writes of feeding babies alone, attending school plays without Kody, and patching the holes of a family dream that was already collapsing. And yet, Christine stayed because she believed sacrifice was her role. I thought giving everything would keep us together, she admits. But the truth? Her sacrifices only made her invisible. And this invisibility is the seed of fury Christine carried for decades. To understand why Christine stayed so long, we have to understand the faith. Plural marriage wasn't just a lifestyle, it was salvation. Christine believed that walking away meant losing eternity itself. She describes the inner war, loyalty to her religion versus loyalty to her own heart. In one chilling passage, she admits she prayed nightly for strength, not to leave, but to endure. And when faith became a cage, Christine's fury became the only key. Fans remember Truly as the quiet child in the background. But Christine's book shows the hidden cost. Birthday parties where Kody never showed up. Family trips where Truly felt more like an afterthought. Christine recalls one Christmas morning when Kody spent hours with Robin's kids, while Truly waited on the couch clutching her unopened gift. Her smiled, Christine writes, but I could see the disappointment in her eyes. And that image, one child waiting became the symbol of Christine's breaking point. Christine's revelations lit a fire across the internet. On Reddit, one mother wrote, "I cried reading her book because I lived it too." On Facebook, women posted their own stories of fathers who chose favorites. YouTube comments flooded with empathy, outrage, and solidarity. This wasn't just Christine's story anymore. It became a chorus of women across America saying, "We see you. We are you." And for the first time, Christine wasn't furious alone, she was furious with millions at her side. Christine's story also forces us to compare. Janelle fought quietly, focusing on independence. Mary endured in silence, tethered by loyalty. Robin embraced Kody's favoritism. But Christine? She turned fury into freedom. She writes, "I realized my children deserved more than my silence." And that difference, choosing to fight instead of fold, made Christine the voice of the sister wives movement. Today, Truly is thriving. Christine has remarried, building a life rooted in respect and love. The fury that once consumed her has transformed into resilience. And every smile on Truly's face is proof that Christine's decision to walk away was the bravest chapter of all. And maybe that's the true ending, not the collapse of a marriage, but the rise of a mother and daughter, free at last. So what's the truth? Christine was always furious with Kody, but for good reason. And her book reveals the most painful part, how Truly was ignored in silence. That fury wasn't destructive, was protective. And maybe that's why the story resonates so deeply with women across America. Because Christine's fight is every woman's fight. If you believe Truly deserved better, hit the like button right now. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Kody owes Truly an apology? And don't forget to subscribe, because next, we'll uncover the truth about Robin's role in Christine's fury.